Hi, welcome to She Spice. Indeed, I simply realized there's serious bedlam happening in Diddy's camp at the present time, since an observer just remained before for the fantastic jury and created exposed film of Diddy exploiting Usher and Justin Bieber, and the most terrible part, other superstars had some awareness of it and, surprisingly, partook in it. There has been a buzz circumventing about another observer, a man named Courtney Burgess, who has some exceptionally harming proof against Diddy and his partners, including film. Appearing Diddy and different VIPs participated in freak-offs. However, get this, Burgess additionally has the crude, unedited composition of the book Kim Watchman was composing before she strangely died, and word on the road is that he's wanting to distribute this original copy the second that preliminary wraps up. Yet, is it genuine that Diddy has sent hooligans after this new observer and his legal advisor? And how harming is all of this to Diddy's case? How about we separate it? So for what reason were you in court just to give declaration to the grand jury? He was summoned by the court, so obviously in the event that you don't answer a summon, you or the marshals will come to your home as they came to his home, and they will bring you here, so that is the reason we're here today. So Courtney Burgess was obviously one of Kim Watchman's lifelong companions, and the federal authorities coincidentally found out that he was in control of some recording that could place Diddy's case in an entirely different light, so they nagged him for a really long time, and surprisingly, sent court marshals to every one of his residencies to serve him a summon when he at long last appeared in court. Mr. Burgess had quite a story to tell us. Per him, he got 11 blaze drives containing no less than 8 unequivocal tapes of Diddy having freak-offs with superstars. As far as he could see, around 6 of the big names were male, while the other 2 were female. Presently, here's where it gets more obscure, as indicated by Burgess. A few of the VIPs Diddy was having relations with in the video seemed, by all accounts, to be underneath the age. Out of those 8 recordings, 8 superstars, 6 men and 2 ladies. The number of those 8 VIPs were near being underage or possibly underage. 2 men's 2 man of those 8 big names, the number of them were inebriated or affected by drugs. This will be all theory. I simply need to introduce it by he wouldn't be aware in the event that they were correct. Seem by all accounts to be me. Rephrase it in view of yes. Comprehend of the 8 famous people who were recorded having private relations with Sean Combs. The number of them appear to be either intoxicated or inebriated, or into the impact. Every one of all of them out of those 8, the number of give off an impression of being possibly deceived. The number of could have been defrauding. I think all, to tell the truth, gracious, were casualties or were executing VI. They were completely were defrauded, meaning this was going on to them, and they were intoxicated, right, not realizing. I think about how much verification it was in it, what they was due, and of those 8, the number of appeared to be possibly minors, 2 to 3. It POSB 3, 2 to 2 to now. He didn't indicate if they were male or female. However, bits of gossip began zooming around that they could be Usher and Justin Bieber. Assuming you've been following the Diddy case this previous year, then at that point, you've certainly heard about Diddy's association with Usher and Justin Bieber, who both went to his alleged Puffy Flavor camp. Attendant was delivered off to Diddy's home when he was only 13, in light of the fact that at the time, he was battling with adolescence and his voice was evolving, so he was unable to hit those high notes La Reid required him to hit. So L.A. Reid and every one of the grown-ups in Usher's life felt it would be smart to send a 13-year-old kid to go live with Diddy unaccompanied and unsuppressed, concerning to insiders. That was when Usher began getting defrauded by Diddy. Usher wound up living with Diddy for the whole spring of 1994, and as per Usher, that period was the absolute hardest days in his day-to-day existence. He was presented to Diddy's sumptuous party way of life, where medications and liquor were continuously streaming like organic products. I moved to New York City, and I resided with Sean Puffy CS for a year. That is the insane thing now. That was La Reid's thought, right? We're sending you over to something many refer to as Puffy Flavor Camp. There, you go to learn what Flavor Camp was called, and you will go to Puff Daddy. He's going during the 90s. Do you comprehend what that resembles? Puffy's place was like just loaded up with chicks and orgy like constant, right? No, not actually. I mean, except for hello, it was interested. I had an opportunity to see a few things. Better believe it. However, you 13 where you see. I went there to see the way of life right, and I saw it, and it was also, nevertheless. I couldn't say whether I could enjoy and comprehend what I was in any event. Seeing it was wild, so no one attempted to make you realize some lady didn't go along. Biggie Smalls was there. Biggie Smalls was there. Lil Kim, Craig Mack. This multitude of individuals are hanging around definitely, man. Confidence, Evans, Mary J. BL, they didn't know anything about this. Graceful, I was living it up. You understand what I mean? Does he make them do any tasks? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean to keep you humble to some degree, or are you very much like, might you at any point keep awake till 4 a.m. with them? Furthermore, I could have remained up longer than them, and what do you have in cash? What's happening? I had like per damn. I had, like a live. No doubt it's insane. Far more terrible than that was the way that the attendant was presented to developed people, having freakouts during these gatherings, like he could simply stroll into any room and make certain to track down a lot of plastered men. Also, ladies grinding away now, assuming you get some information about Diddy nowadays, you'll see his media preparing quickly to kick in. Also, he'll simply offer a few indirect responses to specific inquiries, like when he went on the Club Shay and began talking like Diddy was the best thing since cut bread. You realize I mastered something about business, and I got the hang of something about craftsman improvement another way. I picked up something about culture, so being able to associate with this multitude of various societies of individuals just assisted me with understanding the world that I lived in. I wasn't confined, and I felt like I should have been safeguarded. I wasn't. I resembled you. We will show you the genuine ropes to show you what the world truly resembles and give you a front seat. I'm taking a gander at Biggie. You understand what I'm talking about. I'm taking a gander at Craig. I'm checking out at Onyx. We're running in the roads we like in a real sense over here, perceiving how we in the hairstyling salon are shooting dice. You understand what I'm talking about. You realize bet I don't 44 out 4. You understand what I'm talking about. 4-5, you know I'm similar to yo. What is this? You know what I'm talking about. Yet so extraordinary to have had those encounters since one, I didn't have an older sibling. And my father wasn't there in that frame of mind as a youngster. So this large number of encounters just greeted me forever, so more prominent than simply being a craftsman. That man assisted me with understanding life. He assisted me with understanding what it was to be in craftsman. He assisted me with understanding what it was to be energetic about something. He assisted me with understanding culture. He assisted me with grasping business, and on an alternate level, cause I'm seeing him go from his freedom to then, at that point, becoming Puff Daddy. You understand what I'm talking about, and I've got an unparalleled view. Take a gander at that anyway. Other insiders who likewise had first column seats to all that was going down at Terrible Kid at the time have an alternate story. For example, Diddy's previous protector Jean Bargain once spilled the tea about how Diddy utilized Usher to where Usher must be taken to the emergency clinic. He said about the Stevie J, the attendant part, that is what is happening, man. You understand what I'm talking about in light of the fact that I had a certain inclination, and I felt a specific way when Usher got on Shay, and I don't mean to specify other stages yet. He got on Shay, and he referenced how incredible and how great Puff showed him, and all that. You understand what I'm talking about, the business music, right? I know, and individuals realize that was around there in that time that Puff and Usher had a circumstance, and that situation drove Usher to the medical clinic. Now I let Usher make sense of that to you. I let Usher recount that story. Yet how might you venture to say a man that prepared you going to give him a pass, brother? You realize I know, let me abstain you on something. Recall Usher. We were at the Swiss Inn. Puff had Kim in the room, had one of Keith's child moms in the huge room outside the expert room. He came outside in this street. She gave him the fellatio not too far off. His back was gone to me. She gave him a fellatio. You thumped on the entryway. I came and opened the entryway for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that young lady dead in the mouth. This lines up impeccably with what the government arraignment against Diddy said about him making his oddity off visitors or casualties. Take IV liquids to recuperate after experiences that occasionally race to numerous days. Yet assuming you feel that is awful, stand by till you hear how he wormed his direction into Justin Bieber's life when he was only a young person and caused Justin to go through days with him with no grown-up around. No one understood what they were doing, and no one knew why he. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.